Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. It's Tuesday, April 5th, 2022. And we begin with no phones at lunch. That's the goal behind a petition to ban mobile phones during lunch hour at some Australian secondary schools. And it's gotten over 20,000 signatures. The movement got buzzing after a 12-year-old boy told his mom he hadn't made any friends at his new school because his classmates spent all their break times glued to social media apps. Despite the petition, the Education Minister of New South Wales has ruled out any blanket policy change for the region, but said secondary school principals have the ability to set their own rules when it comes to mobile phones. The devices are already banned for younger students in public primary schools in that state. Speaking of lunchtime, Skippy Foods is recalling nearly 10,000 cases of peanut butter because a limited number of jars might contain something pretty unappetizing, a small fragment of stainless steel from a piece of equipment. The products are Skippy Reduced Fat Creamy Peanut Butter, Reduced Fat Chunky Peanut Butter, and Creamy Peanut Butter blended with plant protein, all with a specific use-by date in early May. If you think you might have a recalled jar, you can check at the company's website. We've put a link on our resources page. The company says questionable containers can be returned to the place of purchase for a refund. A month of March Madness is now over, and for the men, it ended with a thriller and a fourth national championship for Kansas. North Carolina pretty much owned the game in the first half, but the Jayhawks of Kansas mounted a massive second-half comeback to make it a back-and-forth slugfest until the final buzzer. Final score, Kansas 72, North Carolina Tar Heels 69. Words matter, especially when you are the President of the United States and you're talking about the President of Russia. But yesterday, Mr. Biden didn't hold much back when he again referred to Vladimir Putin as a war criminal, then upped the ante and publicly called for him to face a war crimes trial for the things he's done in Ukraine. The comments were made as photographs of devastation and sadness emerged from the town of Bucha. "This guy is brutal," President Biden said. "What's happening is outrageous and everybody has seen it. If a war crimes trial happens, it would likely be handled by the International Criminal Court, which is located in The Hague in the Netherlands. It has 18 judges serving 9-year terms and only hears 4 types of cases, one of which is war crimes." One of our solar system's most recognizable planets is slowly losing a big part of its identity. Saturn has those cool rings surrounding it, but scientists now say those rings won't hang around forever. The circular belts of ice, rock, and dust are in a delicate balancing act around the planet. Saturn's gravity wants to draw them inward, while the speed of their orbit wants to fling them out into space. New research suggests that gravity is winning, and the rings are already breaking apart, creating ring rain at the rate of about 10 tons a second. But there's no need to race to a telescope for one last look. Astronomers on the website The Atlantic say it'll be a few 100 million years before the rings totally disappear. We're not done with COVID, at least not yet. A highly contagious strain of Omicron called subvariant BA2 that's been spreading in Europe and Southeast Asia is now the dominant strain in the U.S. In fact, it caused more than half of all COVID infections here last week. But health officials are hopeful that between vaccines, boosters, and natural immunity from those who've already gotten COVID, there won't be another major surge that would overwhelm the medical system. And officials also recommend keeping high-quality masks on hand just in case there's a spike of cases in your community. And the Supreme Court nomination of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson has taken a big step forward. A Senate panel deadlocked 11-11 yesterday on whether to approve her, but a quick secondary vote allowed it to move to the floor of the full Senate for final consideration anyway. That could happen by Friday. If she's confirmed, Judge Jackson will be the first Black woman to sit on the highest court in the land. That's it for KidNuz. Now, the KidNuz quiz. Saturn's signature rings are made up of what? Ice, rock, and dust. A petition wants to ban what from Australian secondary school lunch hours? Mobile phones. How many cases of Skippy peanut butter are being recalled? Nearly 10,000. Who won the men's college basketball final? Kansas. In our KidNuz kicker, if spending the night in a treehouse sounds like your dream vacation, your dreams might soon come true. The world's largest treehouse resort is opening up this summer in the Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee. The project is the brainchild of Amanda and Brian Jensen, who told Travel and Leisure magazine they were inspired by a treehouse they built for their kids that included bunk beds and a zip line. The 40-acre resort will have walking trails, scavenger hunts, and local storytellers. The tree houses themselves will have a climbing rope to go up, a spiral slide to go down, plus a secret ladder. The basic accommodation will sleep 6 people, while the deluxe version will connect 2 tree houses with a drawbridge. Before we go, we want to give a big KidNuz shout out to our terrific teachers, Mrs. Taylor at Batesville Primary School in Batesville, Indiana, Ms. Klinker at Our Lady of Peace Catholic School in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Mr. Hoverman at Van Wert Elementary in Van Wert, Ohio, Mrs. Pollard at Heartland Middle School in Edmond, Oklahoma, and Miss Jacobs at Startown Elementary in Newton, North Carolina. Thanks for listening. It really helps if you rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. And we hope you tune in for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.